Eleanor Roosevelt, do solemnly swear.
I, Dwight D. Eisenhower, do solemnly swear.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution.
The Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
An active case brought forth from the Center of Constitutional Rights and can be found at ccrjustice.org or Center for Constitutional Rights. That is not in the URL, it's ccrjustice.org. What we have, which is going on even yet still today, this is a case brought before the Supreme Court. It's called Ali versus Trump. Ali versus Trump is a federal habeas corpus petition brought on behalf of Abdul Razzaq, also known as Saeed Bakhouch, an Algerian citizen detained without charge at Guantanamo Bay since 2002. One of the main government justifications for his continued detention is the contested allegation that he was staying in the same guest house in Pakistan as Abu Zubaydah, a man who is mistakenly regarded by the Bush administration as a senior figure in Al-Qaeda, and who is also currently detained without charge at Guantanamo. Abu Zubaydah arrived a few days before the house was raided in March 2002. According to Wikipedia, Zubaydah is held under the authority of authorization for use of military force against terrorists. And we'll discuss that a little bit more as I explain this article. I'm going to go over what that means. Zubaydah was captured in Pakistan in March 2002 and has been in the United States custody ever since, including 4.5 years in the secret prison network of the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. He was transferred among prisons in various countries, including a year in Poland as part of the United States Extraordinary Rendition Program. During his time in the CIA custody, Zubaydah was extensively interrogated. He was waterboarded 83 times and subjected to numerous other torture techniques, including forced nudity, sleep deprivation, confinement in small dark boxes, deprivation of solid food, stress positions, and physical assaults. These are all actually verified by the CIA. Videotapes of some of Zubaydah's interrogations are amongst those destroyed by the CIA in 2005. Zubaydah and 10 other high-value detainees were transferred to Guantanamo in September 2006. He and other former CIA detainees are held in Camp 7, where conditions are the most isolating. At his combatant status review tribunal in 2007, Zubaydah said he was told that the CIA realized he was not significant. On July 24, 2014, the European Court of Human Rights ordered the Polish government to pay Zubaydah 100,000 euros in damages. It also awarded him 30,000 euros to cover his costs. Poland cooperated with the U.S., allowing the CIA to hold and torture Zubaydah on his territory in 2002 and 2003. Zubaydah said through his U.S. lawyer that he would be donating the full 100,000 euros in damages to victims of torture. Let me remind you that the writ of habeas corpus was covered on this show December 9th and can be found at messianiclamradio.com /Constitution. You can just look for the Contemplating the Constitution show, or just put /Constitution in your URL. Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2 of the Constitution states that the privilege, this is in the Constitution, that word privilege, of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended, meaning that everybody has the rights to this privilege, unless, this is wording in the Constitution, unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. First of all, the writ of habeas corpus basically tells the court that the person charged wants all the evidence against them to be brought forth and examined. The problem is that when it concerns terrorism, all bets are off and the party does not get the rights, the privileges, rights of habeas corpus. Ali maintains that he did not, he was not acquainted with anyone else staying at the house he was captured in, that during this time, his time there, he never saw anything illegal take place, and that he never had military training. Ali is one of 11 petitioners who collectively filed the first major challenge to the Trump administration Guantanamo policies in January 2018 in federal court in Washington, D.C. This filing argued that the petitioner's perpetual detentions violate the Constitution's Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2, and the authorization for use of military force, and are girded by the Trump's excessive executive confidence or arrogance and his anti-Muslim hostility. What is authorization for use of military force? Well, it is a joint resolution of the United States Congress, which became law on September 18, 2001, authorizing the use of the United States Armed Forces against those responsible for the September 11 attacks. The authorization granted the president the authority to use all necessary and appropriate force against those whom he determined planned, authorized, committed, or aided the September 11 attacks, or who harbored said persons or groups. The AUMF, authorization for military force, was passed by the 107th Congress on September 14, 2001, and signed into law by President George W. Bush on September 18, 2001. In December 2016, the office of the president published a brief interpreting the AUMF as providing congressional authorization for the use of force against Al-Qaeda and other militant groups. The AUMF has also been cited by a wide variety of U.S. officials as justification for continuing U.S. military actions all over the world. Continuing with the story, the Center for Constitutional Rights joined co-counsel to represent Ali in 2018 and argued his motion. Ali versus Trump raises the fundamental question as to whether the due process clause of the Constitution applies at Guantanamo. Along with Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2, the due process clause basically covers the entire 14th Amendment and mandates that the government must use fair procedures, which is due process, if it deprives a person of life, liberty, or property. If it applies at Guantanamo, many of the legal rules currently governing how the individual cases are decided would be overturned, permitting, for example, in the case of Ali versus Trump, indefinite detention based on an anonymous source's claim the detainee was seen in a house with suspect individuals. Applying the due process clause would only prohibit detaining men based on weak, untestable evidence, but also should set up an upper time limit on detention, such as this, without criminal charge. In August 2018, the district court judge denied Ali's motion for relief, stating that he felt constrained by the Court of Appeals decisions, implying that the Due Process Clause did not apply at Guantanamo. And may I just say, in my research, I have found countless times this has been brought before all the courts, including the Supreme Court, and every time they will tell you that the Due Process Clause does not apply at Guantanamo. Ali has appealed 4 times since then. The Supreme Court reviewed the case on December 28, 2020, this past Monday, and turned it down again. The incoming Biden administration will decide how to respond from this time on. On a similar note, a new film will be released February 19, 2021, starring Jodie Foster, called The Mauritanian. It's so hard, I had to divide it up to say it. Called The Mauritanian. The film follows Mohammed al-Salehi Rahim, who is captured by the U.S. government and held in Guantanamo Bay detention camp without charge or trial. Salehi finds allies in defense attorney Nancy Hollander, played by Foster, and her associate Terry Duncan. They face countless obstacles in a desperate pursuit for justice. Their controversial evidence, uncovered by military prosecutor Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Couch, eventually reveals a shocking and far-reaching conspiracy. Once again, that is the film The Mauritanian, starring Jodie Foster, coming out in February of 2021. There you go. There is our the Constitution in the news.
We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussion, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the MessianicLambRadio.com website. I'm Susan Hugi, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.
Roosevelt, do solemnly swear.
I, Dwight D. Eisenhower, do solemnly swear.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution.
The Constitution of the United States. So help me God.